Pandora Kjolsrud and 17-year-old Evan Clark were found shot to death in the Tonto National Forest.
And they were found in a very rural area there. Fox 10's Kenzie Beach made that trip up to Mount Ord to learn more.
Maricopa County Sheriff's Office had this road completely closed off last Tuesday following the deaths of two Arcadia teens, 18-year-old Pandora Kjolsrud and 17-year-old Evan Clark. We still don't know what happened as the two were shot to death here in the Tonto National Forest, so we made our way up Mount Ord to get more insight. The road to Mount Ord is long. Just off State Route 87 is Service Road 626. It looks like a dead end, but for 4 miles, it's long, rigid terrain and requires four-wheel drive at times on the unpaved road that leads to the top. This is over 6,700 feet in elevation. The road ends here and you can't drive up any further, so we got out. There aren't any designated campsites here on Mount Ord, but designated areas just like this one where it seems a campfire has been lit before. No water, no restrooms, and limited cell service. We asked the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office and the Tonto National Forest if there's a concern for safety in the area. They tell us Mount Ord has an active lookout tower. We saw park rangers patrolling the area, which is routine, and spoke to hikers off camera who say it's more commonly to take a day trip than overnight with multiple trails. We still don't know where the teens were found. The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office tells us this is still a very active investigation as we learn to find more about what happened to 18-year-old Pandora Kjolsrud and 17-year-old Evan Clark, who died here in a very remote, desolate area of the Tonto National Forest. For Fox 10 News, I'm Kenzie
Kjolsrud found shot and killed in the Mount Ord area following a Memorial Day camping trip. And now ABC 15 is hearing from the mother of one of those young victims for the first time.
Time, something Sandra Sweeney says she had far too little of with her 17-year-old son, Evan Clark.
Happy, sweet, empathetic, kind. I loved being his mom. It was the best joy of my life.
And ever since her son was found dead near Mount Ord after Memorial Day weekend, she says time has stood still.
It has been nearly a month now since you had the worst day of your life. How are you doing now?
It gets worse. The fact that you just said it's been a month, in my head, days have now just snowballed. I didn't realize it had been a month, but the grief has gotten worse, not better, worse.
Evan and his friend, 18-year-old Pandora Kjolsrud, were shot and killed on a camping trip. The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office is investigating the deaths as suspicious, but hasn't identified a suspect. Sweeney says after she had asked Evan not to go into the wilderness because she thought he was too young, learning that she lost her only child turned her world upside down.
I just kept screaming alone in my car, no, no, no.
Now she says she battles daily not only with grief, but also a lack of answers.
Right now, publicly, there have been no leads in the case. What is your reaction to that?
There's fear, like there was someone out there that did something like this and nobody knows who it was or where they are. That haunts me.
It's why she's pleading for anyone who knows anything to come forward or share a tip.
To lose your child the way I did and not have any answers whatsoever. Where was he? What was he wearing? Was he in a sleeping bag? Hope and pray someone says something. I hope that someone realizes, this could have been their child. This could be their brother.
Evan's many friends will say goodbye during his celebration of life service this Thursday in Scottsdale.
To see those kids, how much they adored my son, it's wonderful.
But for Sweeney,
not saying goodbye.
You hold him in your heart.
I'll never say goodbye to him. Never.
A bond between mother and son persists, even beyond loss. For ABC 15,
Say brutally murdered 2 teenagers on a camping trip. The 2 teens were found shot to death near a remote hiking trail in Arizona after a Memorial Day outing. I spoke with the heartbroken mom of 17-year-old Evan Clark.
So you think it was just some random act of
Horror, absolute horror. Teenage children.
The other victim was Evan's high school friend, 18-year-old Pandora Kjolsrud. Chilling video shows the accused killer, 31-year-old Thomas Brown, being taken to Arizona's Maricopa County Jail. He's made to stand barefoot in a scanning machine that takes all his body's measurements in seconds. Brown's eerie, emotionless demeanor and ice-cold gaze as he's booked for first-degree murder is sparking comparisons with Brian Kohberger, the notorious killer of the 4 Idaho college kids. Detectives say Brown was camping near Arizona's Mount Ord with his wife and stayed behind an extra day. When she went home, he told cops he spent his day flying his drone around the mountain. After the bodies of the teenagers were found, investigators say Brown called the police helpline to say he'd seen the campers and stumbled across their campsite but had not spoken to them. But detectives say his DNA was found at the crime scene. Pandora and Evan were about to start their senior year at high school in Scottsdale. Evan's mom posted heartbreaking video of her journey to the spot where the bodies were found.
It's where I lost my boy. They died alone in this forest.
She says she had a bad feeling about the trip and pleaded with him to change his plans.
I asked him not to go that morning. I even offered for him money for him so he could use the weekend and go to California.
This is one of the last photos of Pandora. It was taken with her mom on Mother's Day, just 2 weeks before the murders.
The light and love and beauty she gave us will be in our hearts forever. And the darkness that she encountered on that day when she met her killer will not define her life.
On the 2 high schoolers who were brutally shot to death while on a camping trip. New video of the suspect has surfaced showing him firing a semi-automatic gun he made himself in his workshop. Stephen Fabian has more, and we want to warn you, this video is disturbing.
It's chilling video of the accused killer charged with the shooting deaths of 2 high school kids while they were camping. Thomas Brown is firing a semi-automatic weapon he made in his own workshop.
She's a monster. She's a big boy.
Brown posted the videos on the YouTube channel he uses to promote his 3D printing business, along with a how-to on building a similar weapon. Police say he shot dead 17-year-old Evan Clark and his high school classmate, 18-year-old Pandora Kjolsrud, who were on a Memorial Day camping trip in Arizona. KPHO TV reporter Brianna Whitney has been following the case. Do you think the murder weapon maybe came from his 3D printing business?
We know that he was actively 3D printing these military rifle accessories. So yeah, did that become part of the murder weapon here? That becomes a whole nother set of an investigation because you can't track things like that as you can a gun.
Brown served in the Arizona National Guard for 9 years, leaving in 2022 with the rank of staff sergeant. Brown's social media posts show that he was receiving psychiatric care following his service in the military. Earlier this month, he complained on Facebook that because of government cutbacks, he had been unable to get an appointment with a VA psychiatrist for more than 6 months. Brown went on a camping trip with his wife Nicole and their dog Snoopy, but she left the trip early. The following day, Brown posted photos of his dog at the campsite near where the students were slain. The bodies of Evan and Pandora were found the following day.
We don't know if they were arguing or anything like that. Nothing has come out. So the motive is still largely unknown. And I think that's kind of the part that everybody's been hanging on to right now is how and why.
Yes, cuffs off. We're here to move in. You can put everything on that bench shorts. There'll be a bench shorts under the socks. What's the name?
Thomas Brown. Yes.
Vamos. Perfecto. Ahora, hang on. Double fill, please. Yeah, already inside it. It's kind of for me.
Ellen, it's going to be free ice support.
Starting over.
Good. Please go ahead.
Learning more about a Chandler man accused of shooting and killing 2 Valley teens on a camping trip.
And Fox 10's Kenzie Beach spoke exclusively with a former teammate and classmate of the suspect. She's live now with more. Kenzie.
Yeah, Ellen, John, 31-year-old Thomas Brown moved to Chandler, Arizona 5 years ago. But the small town of St. Peters, Minnesota, where he grew up, has been shocked to learn of his arrest. The person that they once knew as a charismatic track star now faces 2 counts of premeditated first-degree murder.
Never in a million of years guessed that he would do something like that.
Thomas Brown remained stoic during his October 2nd arrest, 4 months after 18-year-old Pandora Kjolsrud and 17-year-old Evan Clark were killed. The 2 Arcadia high schoolers were on a camping trip to Mount Ord. It was this mugshot that caught Tanner Peterson's eye, recognizing his high school cross-country teammate immediately.
My friends who were on cross-country along with me, just being like, I can't believe this. It just doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't compute in any of our brains. It's just like a shock.
The 2012 St. Peter's High School graduate put himself on the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office radar. Several tips came from campers who spent the weekend on Mount Ord, the same time as the murders, including Brown. His hometown remembers him in a different way.
He seemed like a guy who literally had it all. Like, he was funny, he was smart, he was very athletic.
The 31-year-old served in the U.S. Army for 10 years, including time with the Minnesota National Guard as a staff sergeant. Peterson says Brown's Facebook posts in recent months became alarming. The same weekend of the murders, Brown posting to Facebook on May 24th that he made it to the top of Mount Ord. Brown's Facebook post on May 25th, quote, "I'm regretting staying one more night, LOL. Got a gang of rando adults playing music and camping next to me, though." It's not clear if those adults are the two teens who were found on May 27th.
Your name and date of birth.
Thomas Henry Brown, March 6th. Hector Diaz on behalf of Mr. Brown. And my appearance is a limited appearance for purposes of this hearing.
Okay. And counsel for the state?
Yes, thank you, Judge. Good evening, Jeff Roseberry on behalf of the Maricopa County Attorney's Office for the state.
All right, sir, you're here on a Superior Court new case alleging 2 counts of murder in the first degree. I noticed that you have an attorney here. He tells me that this is a limited appearance. You did not give any information in terms of your financial affidavit. Are you working?
I am working, but currently I own an LLC and don't have access to my computer, so I'm unable to work.
Okay, you don't have access to your what?
My computer, which is how I run my LLC.
Are you self-employed?
Correct. I own an LLC.
Well, I am going to appoint you an attorney. Now, if you and counsel work something out, that's fine. I do want to make sure that you have an attorney at your next hearing. Counsel for the state, did you want to be heard?
Yes, please, just briefly, Judge.
Go ahead.
Did the court receive our short written recommendation, Judge?
I did.
Thank you, Judge, and I'll be brief. The state is requesting a $2 million cash bond due to the gravity of these crimes. The case does involve, as Your Honor is well aware from the Form 4, the murder of 2 teenagers who were camping. Both of these victims were shot multiple times. Both of the victims were moved and concealed in the brush. As you noted from the Form 4, Judge, Brown's DNA is found in the victim's SUV. Brown's DNA is found inside of the gloves with the blood on the outside. I'm not going to rehash all of the details from the Form 4. As Your Honor asked, Brown does have a job. He runs his own business. Brown also has a spouse who is employed. The state believes that Brown is a danger to the community, a potential flight risk, and given the nature of this crime itself, we would ask for that $2 million cash bond. Thank you, Judge.
And I had a chance to read the addendum in this case, and, you know, I was left with the question in terms of what was the conduct here that caused the death? I mean, you have to infer from the Form 4. I understand that, you know, there's mention of Mr. Brown's DNA on certain items on the scene. He doesn't deny in the probable cause statement that he had contact with both of the alleged victims. He was there camping, he was there hiking, but importantly, there's little reference to where Mr. Brown's DNA was not found. And what's interesting is no mention in the addendum that they were found on the shell casings. There's no mention that any of the DNA was found on items. They make mention in the Form 4 that there were these items along a trail that presumably Mr. Brown hiked, and yet there's no DNA on any of these items that were collected at all. There's reference to a search warrant that was done here. And there was a search warrant that, the way it's referenced in the addendum is that it was somehow limited to fingerprints or was limited to obtaining his DNA. In fact, there was a pretty comprehensive search that occurred months prior to today where they searched his residence, they searched his vehicle, and there's no reference at all to that there were any items that connected Mr. Brown to the alleged murder. And so Judge, Mr. Brown, I understand he didn't provide any information. He has no criminal history whatsoever. He's been a resident of Phoenix for quite some time, for I think 5 years. He's married, served in the military for 10 years. We'd ask the court to impose a bond consistent with the information that's provided in the addendum, which again, you have to infer here that Mr. Brown was somehow connected to this conduct and what that conduct was. And so we'd ask the court to impose a bond that is less than $2 million cash.
All right, counsel, I your arguments about the facts of the case. I mean, I have found probable cause. That's a lower standard, obviously, than what will have to be proved at trial. But I do believe that there's sufficient evidence that's been provided to the court to find probable cause on this matter. Your next hearing, sir, will be a status conference on